Hi everyone, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's reading. We are going to discover hidden blocks in your towards your authentic self or hidden blocks to your authentic self in relationships in today's picker card. So as usual, we do have two groups. Before we get into the reading, take a few deep breaths and breathe out through your mouth. All right. So the first group, the choice that we have for you is this card with number 6, duality. The second group is dancing through eternity with number 22. Take your time, pause if you want to, and let your awareness guide you to whichever pile you are drawn to. I will see you in your reading. Hi, group 1. If you chose the first pile, which is number 6, duality, this is going to be a reading. The first thing that we are going to look into is the root cause of your block to your authentic self in relationships. And I'm using the psychic tarot for the heart. I am in a different location, so please don't mind the surrounding sounds. Take a deep breath in and breathe out, and set the intention for the messages to come through for your highest good. What is the root cause for the block for pile 1? That's the first card. All right, so we are only taking 2 cards. Bottom deck energy is opportunity beckons with number 4. So I'll have to check if this is which suit that is, if it's water or this could be pentacles. Let me check. So we have, oh wow, we have sacral chakra as the first card and move with number 7, which is chariot. So with duality being the card also that you chose, it's so interesting. It's number 6 right before 7, right? This duality seems to me like, with sacral chakra, of course, this is a block around, your emotions, block around really being vulnerable is what I'm receiving here. Being vulnerable enough to share your authentic self, and especially with the move card and how it's represented here, what I'm receiving is, if I give my heart to you, will you take care of it? That is the energy that I'm receiving here. Will you make sure that it does not fall apart or break apart? That is, fall down and break apart. That's the energy I'm receiving, because it must have happened with you in the past, where your emotions were not given TLC or taken care of with a lot of love. Or I'm also getting like respect or honoring the emotions that you bring to the table. So that could have been an issue. I'm just going to check with opportunity beckons. Is it okay? It's not it is 4 of cups, so it's not 4 of pentacles. Boredom, disillusion, vigilance, action. So yeah, I do perceive that with this file, what is the case here is, to being your authentic self, you want to be someone who loves or pours out a lot of love. You want to be someone who expresses their emotions fully or unabashedly. And what I'm referring to here is the whole spectrum of emotions, and without feeling guilty. And I do perceive that you might feel that the way you may have expressed in the past and how it was received maybe you were shamed for it in some way, shape, or form, or maybe you were made to feel guilty about sharing your emotions in some way, shape, or form. So you've been, holding yourself back. That's what I'm receiving. I am now going to look at unconscious patterns of fears, and I'm using this tiny. Oops. I hope that did not come on camera. The mini version of Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. Yes. I'll shuffle them here and let's see if I can place the cards here or not, depending on the images. So, what are your unconscious patterns or fears? Let me have the first card. And the second two. So, the bottom deck energy is Three of Cups. Feeling included somehow. This could, we have Devil right beneath that, and Six of Swords. So we have, wow, your hidden fears and doubts, is it? Yeah, patterns essentially. Justice and the Ten of Cups. I wonder if you being your authentic self and the block around it is somehow associated with if you're doing right by your family or not. Pile number one, that's what I'm receiving in some way, shape, or form. Especially with Ten of Cups, it's very emotional. So, or emotion on the basis of emotions, I would say. Feeling abundant, fulfilled, and enough, feeling enough in relationships. I do perceive that you must have had really strong, very disciplinarian lessons, I would say, emotionally, or a lot of strong lessons around having emotional discipline, which you may have also, to an extent, to the extreme extent, misconstrued as not expressing yourself because of would it disrupt the joy within the family in some way, shape, or form. That's what I'm receiving here. And as I'm saying that, I am seeing 11:44 as the time. That is exactly the time right now, and it is 11th Jan as well. And we have justice with number 11, so 11 could be of a huge importance to you. I do wonder that you showing up as your authentic self in relationships, the block around that is somehow associated with how you've perceived relationships in your family, how you've perceived what community is, because a sense of community is coming through strongly with this Three of Cups being at the bottom of the deck. We have Four of Cups here. So what's happening is there is dissatisfaction for sure emotionally, because you are not able to share what you want to share, and especially I'm feeling like with the emotion that you want to share, and you feel tied down by community norms, is what I'm receiving. Community or societal norms. Maybe you are someone who is a loud person in certain cases, and you were asked to be prim and proper and be more graceful and not express your emotions, or don't laugh too loudly. That's what I'm receiving. Or don't scream at people. I mean, it's more, of course, don't scream at people, but I'm receiving like when you wanted to express intensely what you were feeling, you were shamed for it. And you may have worked, I definitely feel that you've worked upon this, but I still feel that in the light of wanting to express it in a healthy manner, subconsciously you must have put a strong boundary, a clear boundary, in this sense that I cannot even express this emotion. That is the affirmation you've given yourself. I cannot express this emotion, and that is the healthy way. So I do perceive that opening up that Pandora box, but in small pieces or in small bits, is very important for you, pile one, where you can begin to express that emotion healthily, which could very well be just jotting it down, writing it down. And if you don't want to write, pick up any colors and just scribble over a page or scribble over a sheet of paper and let that emotion out, but let it out. Even if you don't have colors, just take up a pen or a pencil and scratch the surface of a paper. It will help. I mean, that's what has helped me, so I'm just sharing that. Of course, it's not a blanket statement, but something like that is important, something that helps you remove that, not remove, but flow that emotion out of your body, especially through your hands. So, of course, if you are into, if you want to do it in an even more disciplined way, and you have the opportunity to learn martial arts or something like that, that would be very helpful as well. Now moving on to the next question, which is any influence from your past relationships for which we have this card duality. So I do perceive that you must have received both ends of the stick, where the relationships were nice, where you were able to express yourself, but then you experienced something else as well, where your expression was really beaten down, is what I'm getting. Crashing, it went crashing down is what I'm receiving here. But now I'm going to use this deck, which is the Sacred Geometry Oracle deck, to see what influence the past relationships have on your blocks right now to your authentic self and relationships. The first card that we have is Hexahedron. I'm going to refer to the guidebook for this one. And we are not taking the last one. So that's Hexahedron with number 18, and we have Chakana with number 16. So it's interesting because 18 is the Moon card, 16 is the Tower card, and 6 is actually the Lovers card. Isn't it interesting? I mean, if you look at the shapes with the hexahedron, the basis being a square is so rigid, whereas we have a circle here which feels more expansive. So yeah, I do perceive that you have experienced both ends of the stick, or you have experienced relationships where you've experienced extreme joy and extreme openness, especially extreme vulnerability in terms of being able to share your emotions and not be judged for it. But I feel like what may have happened, because we have a circle here right in the middle, like the opening here is circular in nature or circular in shape, and we have this Chakana circle, although it's not exactly the same design, but it is reminding me of the Sri Yantra. But what I'm trying to say is that even in some sort of rigid relationships, you had or I would say rather say wherever you felt that you were feeling free enough to express your emotions, there was still a limitation put, like this is the extent to which you can express certain emotions. That's what I'm receiving, and so not beyond that, and feeling restricted there. And the way this plus sign is multiplying, that's what I'm receiving. Now it's become layers and layers and layers of emotions that have not been expressed, or words that have not been said, energy that has not been expressed. Okay, so we are talking about influence of your past relationships. I do perceive that, especially with the hexahedron coming up first, which is the moon energy, because I'm associating it with that energy. I do feel like subconsciously this was instilled in you quite strongly and in a very rigid manner. The fixed signs energy is what I'm getting here. Fixed signs are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. Those are the fixed signs, and you may have those signs, but what I'm receiving here is there was a limit to how much you could express, and you did feel happy and at ease when you were able to exercise that freedom. But of course it felt even more rigid when you knew how, when you understand how freeing it is to express your emotions, and especially I'm talking about in a healthy manner. But then you you see that there are restrictions being put and you are not able to taste that freedom again, it feels even more constricting, contracting, and suffocating. And I do feel like over many relationships, and as you progressed, this suffocation must have multiplied, because people might have come up with some weird permutation combinations just to restrict your your expression, self expression in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to read for the hexahedron from the guidebook. So we have this here. It's the cube. This card ushers in a major time of major change when you will be required to act in a manner that is not customary for you, so that you can break free of the confinement you are experiencing. Wow. Before you act in a radical manner, step out of the box and seek a new perspective, talk to a friend or wise counsel, and most definitely ask for inner guidance before initiating radical change. The cube represents solidity, strength, and confined order. It holds earth and male energy. I am being drawn to talk about Chakana as well. Okay. The levels of the Chakana indicate the progression of movement from matter to spirit. From this vantage point, okay, choosing this card reminds you to acknowledge the place at which you stand at this moment in time and place. From this one vantage point, visualize the past, present, and the future as a holographic and whole, multidimensional, in a constant state of change, and yet perfect in every moment. There is okay. So all of these cards have reverse aspects too, but interestingly enough, Chakana doesn't. So the influence of your past relationships has definitely been something that has made you rigid around emotions, made you rigid about expressing yourself. And I do feel like the more restrictions were put on you, the more your desire to want to express has multiplied. The more your awareness as to how you can express your emotions also has multiplied. So there is wisdom that you have gained through these experiences is what I'm receiving here. So it's like I was saying, the card fits perfectly for you with duality here, because there's been a mix of you experiencing freedom and also a mix of feeling imprisoned in not expressing yourself, your emotions, your feelings at all. So the more you have indulged in relationships with others, the more you have gained wisdom about what is it that you really want. Although your fear of what has happened in the past, or your fear around the rigidity which was created here, and holding on to that, because that's a familiar hell, that's a familiar situation, that's a familiar place to be in. Holding on to that has been exhausting you and making you feel like the Four of Cups, where you have so much at your hand, so much to embrace, because we have the World card also right beneath it. You have the world to embrace. You have a world full of possibilities, of opportunities to embrace, and there is that intuitive knowing. It's not that you don't know about this. It's because of the fear you have had, where your heart was not handled with love, that you are restricting yourself in expressing who you are in relationships, and in turn that's hindering your authentic self-expression, or being your authentic self rather, in relationships. So now we are going to look at what are you hiding yourself, what are you hiding from yourself around being authentic in relationships. All right. We have the first card here. Bottom of the deck is Empress. That is Taurus, Libra energy, Venus energy. We have Four of Cups again. We have Temperance and the Four of Cups. What are you hiding yourself? What are you hiding from yourself? I do perceive that, I mean, in the simplest of terms, with just these two cards, what's coming through is what you may be stating as balance is not balance with the Four of Cups, because you are not looking at the opportunity or what the spirit world has to offer you. And not just the spirit world, I would say the universe has to offer you in terms of relationships. There are opportunities, opportunity beckons with the Four of Cups. Again, here, there are opportunities around you for you to experience emotional safety. So you have to trust yourself, you have to take that leap of faith. And know that, especially with the Temperance card, you might be thinking that you've gained the knowledge. You have gained enough knowledge to balance your emotions, in the sense that, drawing boundaries or restricting yourself from experiencing certain emotions. But what you're not accepting within yourself is that you may be underestimating how well you can, take care of your emotions and how well you can channel them. Especially with the Temperance card, there's a spiritual higher level of knowledge around emotions that you have gathered, which you are not tapping into, which is a potential within you, which you may be aware of, but you're not acknowledging, you're not, grounding it in your reality, because being in this boring situation feels safer than exploring the vastness that life, that the universe has to offer you here. So don't shoot the messenger, please. I understand that that's going to be a tough lesson to, or a tough pill to swallow. But with the Empress card also here, that there is more stability in your emotions that you give yourself than you give yourself the credit for. And especially there's more self-love as well, and self-love in terms of knowing that you will be able to handle yourself when things get tough, when emotional turmoil, comes up to the surface. All right, so the impact of this in your present relationships, we are going to look through the psychic tarot for the Heart. What is the impact of this block in your present relationships? Bottom deck energy is crown chakra. So I would say, for some of you, and of course I'm not a medical professional, I am not a medical professional, so this is not at all medical advice. Always consult a medical professional for the same. But with the crown chakra, I do perceive that some of you might be experiencing heaviness in your head, or dehydration might be causing a lot of headaches, or sinuses must be acting up. Something around that is definitely coming up. And I shuffled the deck in front of you guys, and just see what's shown up. Again, Four of Cups, opportunity beckons, and we have 17, Hope, which is the Star card. How it's affecting your relationships is, I don't necessarily see any negative energy. I actually see that relationships are healing, specifically with the Star card here. But what's happening is, you might be expecting healing to happen in places where you are not willing to take chances. So especially with the Four of Cups, there are places, or things that you are being pulled towards by the universe, which you may not be looking at. So that is important, especially emotionally. To take a chance is very important, and know that you have divine healing, you have the hand of God, so to speak, or of the angels over you at this point, especially to heal this energy. Breaking free is very, very important. That rigidity energy is coming through quite strongly. Break free from the chains of the past, break free from this belief that you've made a fact for yourself. You need to make it not a fact for yourself that the past will repeat, especially around the fact that people will only tie you down and not take care of your heart. That is a belief now that you have to let go of, and take the chance to trust your intuition, especially around trusting people. Trust your intuition around knowing when to take action, when to step back, when to say no, when to say yes. you know that you have that higher wisdom. You have gone through so many experiences that has helped you create the perfect mocktail or beverage for yourself. So the way forward is through this deck, okay, which is the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. What is the way forward? How can you break free from this? Although we have sort of touched on that. The first card. Bottom of the deck is Ace of Swords. So I would say be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Almost this I would say is brutally honest with yourself, and we have Nine of Wands right beneath that, which is again Sagittarius energy. So you may feel that you may have to get out of being in the defense mode, and you may have to be honest with yourself as to are you being in a defense mode or not. We have Two of Pentacles and Eight of Cups, which is Capricorn energy and Pisces energy. Yeah, so instead of shuffling between 2 to 3 things or 2 to 3 ideologies here, which are ideologies that affect your day-to-day life, especially around making things smoother, are these ideologies around taking care of others' hearts first rather than your own? Yes, it has helped you with the Eight of Cups to create something substantial, something that was working for you till a certain period. Now it's not helping you at all. In fact, it might even be threatening your sense of security in some way, shape or form, feeling secure in relationships, because like we were talking about with your heart being taken care of or not by the other individual, I'm not saying that it's their responsibility, but trusting that you will take care of your heart, trusting that there are people out there who do want to love you, who do want to give you the world, or even if it's not that, who do want to support you, uplift you, wish well for you. So there is this need of getting out of the defense mechanism of everyone is out to get you. That is not the case, especially emotionally. You have to be very blunt with yourself, and that is the only way possible, because that will cut through this unnecessary loop you might be in and help you move on, even if it's not comfortable, but it is towards a better place, towards a better emotional state of being. And the last one is, if you do take this advice, how will the outcome be? When you will be able to, let go of this, more than the advice, when you will be able to take, actions to change this block within yourself, how will it show up, or how will you show up authentically? So I'm not taking this, but we do have Rest and Reconsider with 9 here, which is, and we have the Lovers card. But anyway, so how will it show up? So the bottom deck energy is this Nine of Cups. Darkest Faces. So it's clearly not Nine of Cups, that's Nine of Swords with the phases of the moon. And we have Manifest and Moving On, which is Eight of Cups energy again. How is this going to show up in how this block being removed is going to show up for you is that you will have the strength, you will be aware that you have all the resources at your hand, even if things go south emotionally. You will be able to walk away from relationships, from situations, from people that no longer serve you. The energies that are around you, if they are no longer serving you, you will be able to detach from that, and in a peaceful manner, in a manner that's very grounded, in a manner that is emotionally extremely stable, and I would say yes, intellectual, but more so stable and grounded. Because with a Magician showing up here with the Manifest card, I do perceive that there will be more stability in all of your chakras, or your connection with the higher world and the lower world, or the ground, essentially the earth energy. That's what I'm talking about. So you will not be all in your head, or you will not be all in scarcity with fear and be in the unaligned energy of the earth element, or unaligned energy of security. So I do perceive that there will be more stability and harmony between your mind, body, and spirit. And because of that, there will be this innate confidence within you where you will know that yes, this is not serving me, and this is really not going to help me create a future that I want to create. So I will make the choice, or I have the choice to move away, and you will most likely do that. You will have the strength to move away, even if that relationship was serving you at some point in time. And moving away without holding any grudges or energies that are pent up within you around this is what I'm receiving. Like, there will be no baggage here, is what I'm receiving. Only clear, still waters. This person is also carrying nothing with them. And especially with the manifest card, I am also receiving that the other scenario would be when you recognize that that certain thing is not working for you, you will be able to manifest things breaking away from you for your highest good. Like, you may not have to, consciously take a step forward, but universe will align things in a way where your energy and the universe's energy together manifests a space for you that's clear of confusion, that is clear of any doubts and fears, and you are able to move forward, and that is clear of sources creating confusion for you, is what I'm receiving. Especially with darkest fears, yeah, seek the truth. We have 7 of Swords. I do feel like it will be much easier for you to spot red flags, and it will be much more easier for you to walk away from them at the right time. You will succeed. So pile 1, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you like the reading, if it helped you. Thank you again so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose Dancing Through Eternity, this is going to be your reading. First, we are going to look at the root cause of the block to your authentic self in relationships. I'm using the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by Holland. That's the first card. Heal. Alright. Spread your wings with number 2 is the Swan, and we have Magician with Manifest here. Let me just check which is Spread Your Wings. I think it's Swan's energy. Yeah. 2 of Wands and Heal. The core energy of what is blocking you from healing yourself, or from healing yourself probably, but we are talking about from being your authentic self in relationships. So we have Heal, so I am getting similar energy to pile 1, but still what I'm receiving here is the block more so, or the belief system that's working here is how it's becoming a block, because it's a lot of things. I'm just trying to put words to it. So what I'm receiving here with the 17 card, which is the Star card here, is that you do know you have a lot of healing energy. Your presence is very healing, and with Spread Your Wings, what I'm receiving is that you have seen how your healing energy has played out in relationships. So because you were taken advantage of, so I'm immediately getting the narcissist empath dynamic here, and you being the empath, and in that sense you've realized how powerful, how impactful, how healing your energy is in relationships. So you're very selective about who you would let in your life. But what I'm receiving here is it is working as a block, in the sense that you might be presuming because of whatever may have happened or because of what you have understood. But I'm not saying that what you have understood is entirely wrong, but to a certain extent it's more protection or being defensive in terms of not wanting to explore more people or wanting to be with more people, rather than it being something that's coming from awareness. I also perceive that because you may have in multiple times or in multiple ways experienced that speaking your truth, especially the truth that comes from your heart is very piercing for some people, and they may have reacted in a negative way. You may be taking that data point as too significant for your future relationships, and so you are contemplating if it is even worth it to experience any new relationships going forward. With manifest, I do want to clarify this energy. Right beneath that, we have the third eye. So we have awaiting results, which is Seven of Pentacles energy. Yeah, so what I'm perceiving is that this concept of, even if it's law of attraction, or even if it's not attraction, but just bringing in energy into your life, what I am receiving is that you may have become a little too passive and not taking you're not taking actions because you might be considering that as the literal definition of manifestation. Of course, I do believe in inviting energy in rather than chasing, but what I'm receiving here is that you have to meet the universe halfway, and that halfway from your end is not happening at this point in time. So even taking time to reflect or even pausing is a form of action. So that's the only action you're taking. That's what I'm receiving. You need to be more proactive is what I am receiving here, and that is somehow being a block in being your authentic self. So it may be that you're presuming in certain ways, or you may have criteria where you are waiting for people to look at how healing you are, how loving you are, but you have to know that you need to take a step forward as well. They cannot it's so you have to shine bright for people to see your light, and that might be showing. It doesn't even mean that you have to initiate a relationship, but this is more so being more present amongst people, or being more present amongst social circles. And what it might be actually something that you are wanting to manifest, which is to be in a relationship where you can be your authentic self. This very well could be friendships as well, because I'm getting more so all sorts of relationships, all social relationships, not necessarily a romantic one. So, and apply it to your situation, it very well could be just romantic as well. But in any case, you are wanting to manifest this, you are putting that intention out there, but and you are with the third eye chakra, I'm also getting that some of you might be creating a vision board as well. You are visualizing, great, but we have choose your battles at the bottom of right beneath that. So you might be like I said, presuming what the situation is outside, or how things are being represented to you on the basis of what has happened in the past, or the significance of that data point that I mentioned of what happened in the past, rather than looking at the situation for what it actually is. So we are going to look at what are the unconscious patterns and fears working here around this root cause of wanting people to recognize you, wanting people to see your light, and not taking enough action, I would say. So the bottom deck energy is Ace of Pentacles. Promises. Ace of Pentacles always reminds me of promises in the physical realm. Beneath that we have Six of Pentacles and Nine. So it's all about the material world, the physical world. We have Queen of Wands, and we have the Star again, so I can't show that card, but so we have the Star and the Queen of Wands. Yeah. Oh, hmm. Which is interesting because we have your first card here as the star as well. I feel that there is a fear of coming off as too bossy in relationships in some way, shape, or form, or being the leader that you are. Because, especially with the Six of Pentacles being here, which is a benefactor energy, right? And right beneath that, we have the Nine of Pentacles, someone who is self sufficient. So, I do perceive that people might want to be a benefactor to you, and so they create that dynamic within the relationship where they somehow subdue what you have to share, or they make you feel your experiences might have been such where you must have been made to feel that you were too much with the Queen of Wands, too vivacious, too out there, too much full of life, too um, just too much, too loud, right? And so you had to temper that with the Six of Pentacles, or you were made to believe that you have to temper it to a great extent. And so whoever was able to help you in that way, even especially with the Six of Pentacles, it's very breadcrumbing energy. So whoever was able to help you that way must have, they have tried to pose themselves as the savior of your life. That's what I'm receiving here. And so that's created a mixed opinion about who you are, your identity with the Queen of Wands here, and how you should show up in relationships. Should you be vulnerable like the Star card, who is, they have no fear at all. They have no, with vulnerability, what I mean is being yourself entirely and being open to judgments. It's not about, what is it? What's that saying? Mm, washing or showing your dirty laundry to everyone in the world. That's not the energy I'm receiving here. That's not what I mean also with the vulnerability card, a vulnerability energy. What I mean is being yourself, expressing yourself entirely, and being okay with the judgment that comes your way with the Star card. And so I do perceive that you were somehow this energy, and you still are at the core of who you are. You are that energy, but you've been made to feel bad essentially about your confident self, about your confident self expression. We do have Ace of Pentacles here, so I do feel like people must have promised to be like, they might have promised you a beautiful garden, a beautiful world out here, but what turned out was the Six of Pentacles energy, where they were just breadcrumbing you and not making you realize, or not focusing at all on this energy of yours, which is the Nine of Pentacles, someone who's self-sufficient, someone who is extremely attractive, because attractiveness is also coming through quite strongly. Especially, we could say that with the Star card, Queen of Wands energy, and also the Nine of Pentacles energy here. People might not have given you compliments, or made you feel bad about your body as well, is somehow coming through here. Let's see how the past relationships have influenced this block within you. We do have with Dancing Through Eternity as one of the cards. Yeah, I do perceive that this is more intimate relationships that might have made you feel this way, or maybe also looking at relationships at your home. The dynamics between your parents, for some of you, that might also have influenced your perception about relationships and how much you can be yourself so that the other person doesn't feel bad. We have Leonardo's Virtuous Man with number 32 and Tetrahedron with number 13. We have strong 4 energy, 4 and 5. We have also a strong energy of number 8. We have Vesica Pisces. I can't show the Virtuous Man card entirely. Let me just, yeah. um, yeah, so Tetrahedron is reminding me of the pyramids. So the pyramid energy is also coming through. And I do perceive that, a pyramid energy about how the masculine energy is superior energy. Being the masculine energy is the superior energy. That's coming through quite strongly. So past relationships may have made you feel that way, where the masculine energy has to be at a higher pedestal in some way, shape, or form. And that is a more grounded approach. That is a more Ace of Pentacles or Pentacles energy approach, where it is more related to or more connected to the reality that we are in, to this physical reality. I do perceive that your past relationships might have influenced that inner dialogue within you. I'm going to read from the guidebook for Vesica no, this one, Leonardo's Virtuous Man, which is number 32. It says, divinity of humankind. So it says, what are you looking for? It may be the perfect partner, the perfect job, the perfect living situation, or the perfect body. I was talking about the body. Sacred geometry demonstrates that the ideal exists at all levels while allowing infinite variety and form. I'm going to say that again. Sacred geometry demonstrates that the ideal exists at all levels while allowing infinite variety and form. Learning to accept the perfection in all things, including yourself, and the truths of absolute perfection in every moment is the message of this card. Opening to this concept and releasing judgment about perceived imperfections in yourself and others will free you to enjoy greater joy and satisfaction in life. Opening to this concept and releasing judgment about preconceived notions or perceived imperfections in yourself and others will free you to enjoy greater joy and satisfaction in life. And let's go to the tetrahedron. See, the tetrahedron says action. I was telling you guys, are not taking action here. So, is there a project you have been considering or a decision you have been putting off? Now is the time to take action and initiate movement that will activate ideas and complete creative projects. Simply remember to listen to your inner guidance and ensure that this action is not mere smoke and flames, but intentional movement towards your highest good. I do perceive that the influence of your past relationships must have been to be the perfect person, to be the perfect partner, the perfect friend, and so there are love languages that's coming through quite strongly, and the one that's about acts of service. So I do perceive that for some of you, maybe that's one of your love languages, like you like to receive acts of services. But what I'm receiving here more so is that the past influence of your relationships has been in a way where you were made to believe that acts of services is the only way to love somebody else, which makes sense. We have a lot of Pentacles energy, Ace of Pentacles 6, and also this one, the 9 of Pentacles. So only if you are materially in some way, shape, or form helpful to others, be it through money, through acts of services, only then you are the perfect person or the perfect individual in any kind of a relationship. And so you were forced to take action. Maybe that is why that swing in energy is happening right now, where you've become so comfortable with inviting energy in, so comfortable, and I'm using the word comfortable quite intentionally here, because now is the time to take action which is coming from your heart, which is an inspired action rather than something that you're forcing yourself to do. And that's why I'm using the word comfortable. You've become very comfortable in not taking actions, and that's not serving you any longer, because there's so much of you that needs to come out, especially with the star card coming up twice. I do feel like people need to see your light shine quite strongly here, pile number 2, and that is not happening because you may have misconstrued inaction as reception. You receive continuously. We are always receiving energy. That's how I perceive energy. We are always receiving energy, but to receive energy and have information is just the first step. The second is to do something with that reception, right? Whatever you have received, whatever information you've received, maybe you are wanting to actualize, let's say, a car for yourself, a supercar or a sports car, right? And in some way, shape, or form, without action, you are able to do it. But is that it, right? Do you not want to sit in it, enjoy a ride, drive it, listen to music, whatever it is? You want to use what you have created, right? You cannot be still, just standing still there like stagnant water, like lifeless water. You have to put life in it by putting your energy in it, by taking action towards things that are coming your way. So your past relationships, because you might have overexerted yourself in terms of becoming the perfect person for anyone, be it you being the ideal child of your parents, the ideal friend, the ideal partner for someone in business or romance, whatever it is, or an ideal teammate at work. In that sense, you've taken so much actions that so many actions that you're exhausted yourself to the point that you are not seeing value in actually taking action. It is important to take action, right? So that is, I feel like, the influence of your past relationships, where you may not be taking as much actions in your current relationships. And that's the next question, not the next question, but the next question is, what are you hiding yourself? So let's see that, and then we will see the impact of this block in your current relationships. So what is it that you are hiding from yourself, which is causing you to not be your authentic self in relationships? The first card here is this one. We have the Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. All of those cards, I mean 2 cards flipped over, and we have Knight of Pentacles showing up. So we have Ace of Wands, Justice, and Knight of Pentacles, beneath which is the Moon card. Isn't that interesting? All right. Yeah, we have 5 of Swords and 9 of Pentacles. So I do perceive that there is some sort of, don't shoot the messenger please, but there is a sort of my way or the highway energy, and some stubbornness which needs to be tempered a little, to be honest, especially with the Ace of Wands. I feel like you might be convincing yourself that you are, and of course only take what resonates here, but you might be convincing yourself by saying that you are okay being alone with the Nine of Pentacles, whereas you do want to initiate something new. You want to bring in a new creative energy in your life, and especially creation in terms of how you mingle with others, because I don't think that you want to be in this 5 of Swords energy where you have to time and again explain yourself or be aggressive with your I wanted to say boundaries, but the word that was coming through was borders, and that's very strong in energy as the way I am experiencing it, because it's reminding me of country borders, borders between 2 countries. So it's such an intense place, especially if both those countries are not at good terms, or not on good terms, sorry. And so that's the aggressive energy around borders that I'm receiving. So that's what, those borders have to become boundaries that are healthy, boundaries that are respecting of you and others both. And instead of thinking that, again, that people want to be like a benefactor, or they want only the perfect person that you are, that's where you need to be kinder to yourself, because Nine of Pentacles is Virgo energy, and Virgo energy is analytical and also hypercritical of themselves. So how are you being critical towards yourself because of what you learned in your past relationships? So I do perceive that you may be hiding from yourself, that you strive at the cost of your own mental well-being. You strive to be perfect, which is not kind to you, pile number 2. You need to relax a little more. You need to have fun a little more with the Ace of Wands, and especially with the Justice card. This is more so because Justice here is reminding me of balance for sure, but also relationships energy because of Libra energy here. And with Ace of Wands, there is no new creativity, a new perspective, a new vivaciousness with the Queen of Wands energy, a new vigor that you have to introduce in your relationships. And this is not by doing specific actions, it's more so intentions, and with that intention moving forward, then taking actions, bringing in that energy of, I'm time and again getting, vivaciousness, life. That's the energy that's coming through, and inviting that energy in, experiencing how that energy feels in your body, because you are a powerful manifester with the manifest card here at the bottom of the deck. You are very good at visualizing, so visualize that energy, visualize that creative life force, visualize the energy of your sacral chakra and your solar plexus also, and visualize how it feels to be in your personal power when you are in a relationship. How does it feel to be at ease with expressing yourself, especially creatively, when you are in a relationship, especially in a way which is honoring your boundaries and the boundaries of others as well, which is honoring you, who you are as a being, and the other person as well. And keep taking steady actions towards that. Don't stop yourself, don't stop too much, or don't think that you have to do a lot of work around this. Take it one step at a time, make bite-sized steps, make bite-sized, take bite-sized pieces of information and bring them into the physical world. All right, so now we are going to look at how this block is actually impacting your current relationships. Bottom deck energy is Ace of Cups, which is interesting. We have Hanged Man and the Nine of Wands. So definitely a standstill energy is there in your relationships, and maybe that standstill energy is making you feel Nine of Wands like, which is defensive. And I do perceive that that defensiveness might also be coming for some of you from the point of view that you may have to sacrifice a lot to be at ease in your current relationships. I'm going to clarify the Hangman here. Eight of Swords. And we have Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which is Scorpio energy. Six of Cups. Eight of Swords is Gemini energy. Hangman is Pisces energy. And Nine of Wands is Sagittarius energy. So Sagittarius, Gemini are sister signs. Isn't that interesting? So sister signs make sense, right? You are the this Eight of Swords energy is an imprisonment that you have created in your mind rather than it being the actual reality. I do perceive that, that Six of Pentacles energy that we saw earlier may have to shift towards the Six of Cups energy, in the sense that you need to I don't want to say this in this manner, which is or how I'm phrasing this, but I'm not getting any better words here. Essentially, you need to make yourself believe that Six of Cups energy, that people enjoy gifting to you. That is also possible, that everyone who is being a contribution to your life is not out to take advantage of you or have an ulterior motive. There are people, especially with the Six of Cups energy, who genuinely want to gift you, who enjoy gifting you and find joy in it. So anyone who is bringing you some compliments, some gifts, they are not necessarily having any ulterior motive or a malintent towards you. This is more so coming from the journey you've had, and so you've created that imprisonment within yourself, and you may not be acknowledging how intense that is, because you may be thinking that it's coming from awareness, but it's more so whatever knowledge you have gathered, and in regards to safeguarding that information and safeguarding yourself. No, as a consequence of that information and wanting to safeguard yourself, you are, restricting yourself and thinking that any pause that comes is a sign that you have to either bend to other people's needs. Wow, that's coming through. Because that's what I'm receiving, especially with the dancing through eternity card. That maybe the dance that you have seen is of the empath and narcissistic behavior, and so you do perceive that when there is a pause, when there is a conflict happening, and there comes a situation where it's all, that it all has come to a standstill point, or there is a pause, that someone has to bow down to someone else's need, and it's mostly an empath. And so you have ingrained that in your mind so strongly at this point in time, that that information is helpful to create clearer, healthy boundaries. But at this point in time, it's more so that you've created an imprisonment, thinking that everyone or every situation might ask you to sacrifice, and in turn you're just rerunning that wound or loop in your head. That's what I'm receiving as to something that you have to acknowledge here. You have to change your perspective around this pile 2, around the fact that you have created as a fact in your mind that you may have to compromise a lot on your end, at your end. That's not the case. You have to know that this is not the case every time, and that you have the right to be yourself fully, and so does the other person, be it any kind of relationship. So lastly, we are going, no, did we see is this the impact of your current relationship, or what we were looking at as to what you were hiding from yourself? Wow, I forgot. I think this was the hiding yourself part from yourself. Then, wow, I really can't remember, because clearly probably I was channeling. But anyway, the impact of this in your current relationships. Still feel that that's the question we addressed. Yeah, I think that's what we addressed, right? uh, yeah. So I think what we got for for what you were hiding from yourself was the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. This is the energy of what impact it has on your current relationship, this block. Yep, because Two of Swords and Two of Wands was also reminding me of conflict, pausing. All right, so now we are going to look into the way forward. I hope you guys don't mind and the messages are clear. Anyway, so the way forward for you is we have the Justice and Two of Pentacles, and we have Eight of Cups, bottom deck energy. I do perceive that in relationships currently you may be, wearing too many hats, trying to compensate a lot of things, doing multiple things, or putting your energy in actions that don't require your energy. Because with the waves, being quite violent in the back here, in the background, what you need to do is calm those waves down more, bring more balance with the Justice card here, especially with your actions. So I would say taking prompt actions towards, especially feeling that the boundaries versus borders thing that I was discussing here. So taking prompt actions towards understanding what healthy boundaries are, what boundaries serve you, what boundaries do nourish the relationship as well, especially your relationship with yourself, and how that permeates or emanates to your entire external world. That is very important. That's the way forward here, balancing out your actions and understanding, because I'm getting material world energy also here, so I do want to pull out some cards or card. What's that? Ace of Cups. So yeah, taking actions, and especially actions in the material world, or making connections with people, more so because you're guided to them, especially with the Ace of Cups here, and it feels so fulfilling for you, so loving for you with the Ace of Cups, rather than thinking that is this connection entirely practical or not. So I'm not saying, you have to promise your life to somebody else on the basis of just your emotions, but I do feel like there is this prompt coming from the universe, from spirit, from whoever you believe in, from source, that you have to make the basis of your relationships as Ace of Cups energy, as love energy, as love that's coming through from your subconscious, as well as love that is divinely protected and guided by source, because this energy is a blessing and it's coming from source, from spirit, from whoever you believe in the higher power, and it's extremely blessed with the dove energy as well. A lot of innocence is also what I'm receiving. So even if it's not innocence, but having that, if you don't want to indulge in that energy, so to speak, but having that pure intention of just connecting with people, because, or just connecting with an individual, because it makes your heart grow, rather than thinking if it is practical, if they are ticking all the boxes for you, if they are checking everything in your checklist, but more so, like, more than using a lot of logic and intellect, or trying to rationalize something, especially with the Ace of Cups. This is like initial basis, especially in the initial stages, rather than becoming defensive with the Nine of Wands energy here, and thinking with the Eight of Swords that everything from the past will reoccur, or past patterns might reoccur. With the Ace of Cups, especially in the initial stages, be open to receiving, and know that, especially with the Justice card, that karma has your back, that the world has, that the universe has your back, that there are energies supporting you, and especially what goes around comes around. So the more you are open, the more you will be able to receive. That is the way forward. And now we have what is the potential outcome, and interesting enough, I'm being guided to use the Hart, Psychic Heart Tarot for you. So if you let go, or when you are able to let go of this block, what will it look like? How will it look like? What is the potential outcome? We have the bottom deck energy is again, so this detach. Is this again Justice energy? I wonder if it is Justice card in this deck, but it is number 11, which is the Justice card in the WS system. We have manifest and balance, both major arcanas. So I do perceive that the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to manifest a lot of things in your life from a very balanced place, from a balanced yin and yang energy, especially the way it's shown in this card. A balanced energy of your divine masculine and divine feminine energy. You're going to manifest a relationship which has that egalitarian quality, because that's what I'm receiving here, and an energy of equality, equal mutual respect, and especially love, and lovingly expressing yourself, because the colors blue and pink. So blue is all about communication, pink is divine, pure, innocent love again, and innocence is coming through. But I do feel like, especially with the manifest card also having this blue energy here, and then we have this red, which reminds me of security with the root chakra, and also sacral energy. So safely expressing your emotions, the more you're able to let go of this block where you think that you'll have to be very fierce all the time with your boundaries, and there are more borders rather than boundaries. The more you are able to let go of that, the easier it will be for you to manifest things in your life from balanced place, which includes inspired action, and it's not just about inaction, is what I'm receiving. I do perceive that this impact is going to be very wholesome or holistic in your life rather than just being relationships. Yes, especially with the temperance card being shown the way it is being shown here, I do feel like it will have a major impact in your relationships, but I do perceive that it will have an impact that will be holistic in nature, as you know, influencing in a positive manner all aspects of your life. Yeah, so that's all that I have for you, pile number 2. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share, like, do like, share, subscribe to the channel if this reading resonated with you. Thank you again so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings.